Hello and welcome to The Extra Mile. I'm Linda Boudreaux. Our guest today is Father Keenan Brown. He is the pastor of St. John Francis Regis in Orneville, and we are talking about the Etouffee Festival, which is coming up the same weekend as Festival International. So welcome, Father Brown. Thank you for coming all the way from Orneville. It's so good to see you.
It's good to be here.
So I guess to start, tell us about the Etouffee Festival. What's the deal?
Well, Etouffee Festival is our annual, I like to call it our big bash for Orneville.
The big bash in Orneville is coming right up.
Yes, it's a wonderful festival focusing on what I've come to understand to be the signature dish of the culture in Orneville, the Upper Teche culture, which is the Etouffee. And a lot of people don't realize, but Orneville isn't really a Cajun town. It's more French than Cajun.
Well, okay, and I'm sure people are making that distinction.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are Cajuns who live there, as well as Afro-Creoles and people directly from France, which, you know, most of you, if you even look at the names of people, it's like, whoa, that's not a Cajun name. You have names like Calandre, Mistro, Mistrique, you know, Arnaud. Those are Laporte. Those are French people.
Very French names, yeah. So the culture's different then, huh?
Yeah, so it is, and I like to think it's more like sui generis in the sense that it's evolved on its own, kind of distinct. It's just the way they do things, the way they see things. And as opposed to where I was before I got to Orneville, when I was in Eunice is very much the Prairie Cajun culture.
Right.
And, you know, I loved Eunice. But when I got to Orneville, it was a big adjustment. The relationships aren't exactly the same. And the way they relate to the priest. And it took a while for people to warm up to me. They're very friendly. But when it comes to the priest, they're like country French people. It takes a while to warm up, but once they do, oh my goodness, you know, they sweep you up.
Yeah. So are you at the being swept up point now?
Oh, I've been swept up, and they try to make me fat. But
you eat enough Etouffee, you're going to fill out, I'm going to tell you right now.
And I loved it. And surprisingly enough, though, I haven't learned how to cook it yet.
You don't have to, because if everybody around you cooks it, you can always go somewhere.
Oh yeah, I don't have a cook, and I don't have a cook at the rectory. They bring me food, so what I need to cook for. But I'm wanting to learn. I'm learning.
Okay, you're on record now. All of Orneville is going to hear you say you're going to learn to cook.
I'm learning. So somebody got to show me how to make that etouffee the correct way. Although during the festival, we get to watch the etouffee being made, so I watch and I learn, and actually they let me stir the pot sometimes. So
that's always my favorite part. I love to stir the pot.
I love to stir that pot, and especially my favorite thing though is to do the cabbage, because I just love it.
Wait, what do you do with the cabbage?
Well, they smother it.
Oh, okay,
Right,
okay.
you know,
okay.
the word etouffee means to smother.
Right. Oh, I'm
so
thinking
it's more of the method of cooking.
So you do etouffees of all types over there. We're not just talking about our standard shrimp and crawfish etouffee.
Yes,
we're talking about something more than that.
There's all that, and we have they have the shrimp and the crawfish. I mean, that's available. When we make it, it's available. People can come eat, you know. But we also make the potatoes and the cabbage that you can have. And I'm telling you, and I will say this to anybody: the best smothered cabbage I've ever had is in Orneville.
Okay, guys, smothered cabbage, Orneville. We got it here first.
Oh yeah, I will put my hand. You know, I will make a promise on that. I love that stuff. I can't get enough of it, actually. And
we can get it at the Hfa Festival.
At the Hfa Festival. So there's a lot of other events around the food, cooking of the food, because we have different teams that cook the food, because the festival goes from Friday, Saturday, and through Sunday. So that's a lot of cooking.
That's a whole lot of cooking.
Whole lot
You're
of cooking.
cooking the whole time?
Yeah, we start cooking the Friday afternoon to get ready, because the festival will open at 5 o'clock on the Friday. That's on the 25th. And
of April 25th.
April 25th. And so food's got to be ready for when people get there.
Yeah, because we're not waiting for you to cook.
Yeah, they're there to eat.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock.
They're there to eat, and they're there to dance, and they're there to have fun. We also have rides for the kids. It's a, a fair going on, and with all kind of rides and games that kids can do, and which is nice because the parents say they get their kids their little tickets and they shove them off, and then mom and dad come and dancing and eating while the kids go play.
So that's our traditional way to entertain ourselves. We're all together in the same geographic area, but we're doing each what we like to do.
And it's funny to watch the kids when they run out of tickets. They come back and they find mom and dad and say, "I want more tickets. I need some more tickets. So I want to ride the bullet." But it's a fun time for families. It's open. It's free. It's a free festival. Just
hey,
come
say that
on
loud.
out.
It's free.
It's a free festival. There's no you don't have to do like in New Orleans, pay to get in. You just come.
Spend your money on stuff to do.
Oh yeah, and there's plenty to do. I mean, because we also have barbecue. We call munchies and sweets. Because sometimes the kids don't want to sit down and eat a whole plate of food, even if even etouffee is good. But you know how kids are. I want a hot dog. I want this.
Exactly.
And so we have that available for them to satisfy them. It's almost like hush puppies, but and we keep it all together. And there's a lot of refreshment drinks, and there's one guy the same guy makes lemonade every year, and there's also all kind of stuff that people can eat and drink. We have a sweet shop that we do. That people come in, the ladies make all these traditional sweets like the fig cake and all that stuff. Oh yeah, that's another thing.
That sounds like a fun
That's another thing,
festival.
the fig cake in Orneville is just.
Okay. Okay, so now we know smothered cabbage and fig cake.
Oh my goodness. And of course, every year everybody's wondering, okay, which team or on Friday night, which one's going to come out the best out of the shrimp etouffee or the crawfish etouffee, because there's two different teams making it. So every year everybody's going, "Oh boy, the shrimp is hitting tonight," or I said, "Really, you tried it?" "No, I was eating the crawfish. I'm gonna go try it." And then people come back and they wanna try the other one too, to make sure they didn't miss out.
Well, I would be just like them.
So I'm
do you
like
judge?
that.
Do you judge? I mean, is there a
I
winner?
do not judge.
Does somebody judge?
Well, there is
there a winner?
There is the mayor's cook-off on the Saturday.
Okay.
And that's teams that actually enter the competition.
Okay.
Now that's not part of the etouffee that's available for general consumption. Okay. That's a specific thing on Saturday. It's the mayor's cook-off, and she has professional eaters that come in and taste and make comments, and I get to sit with them. I'm not a judge. I refuse to judge because
wise man that you are.
I don't want to play favorites for anybody. So,
No.
but I get to taste it all.
And let those TV stars and other professional tasters come in.
Oh yeah, let all those people do that. They coming in, and when they leave, So we don't have to deal with the fallout that, well, I thought Aunt Elsie should have won or whatever.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
No, it's a real impartial, but it's really creative because the competition goes like this. There's categories. There's the meats, which is like the beef, the pork, and the poultry category. Then there's seafood category. Then there's wild game category. Then there's crawfish is separate from the seafood category because crawfish is always the most common one. And so you have to kind of judge it off the side. And then there's vegetables. So all those different categories of etouffee.
Wow.
I learned so much about etouffee being in Orneville because I did not know people made that many kinds of
I thought there were two kinds of etouffee. One was
That's what
shrimp
I
and one
thought.
was crawfish.
I'm from Morgan City, and we ate shrimp etouffee because we eat shrimp, and crawfish etouffee. I never thought about all those other things.
I'm sitting here thinking, isn't it fun to just look at the diversity within our cultures? And we're what, 20 miles from each other or 30 miles from each other, and our experiences are really very different.
Exactly, and even the creativity. I'm amazed at what people come up with in their recipes.
Yeah.
And they won't tell you what it is, but it's their thing. Somebody, like one year, some man put up he made an etouffee with elk.
He must have been in Colorado or somewhere.
Yeah, he
got
had
himself an elk.
He went there on a trip, and he said, "Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna make me
An
etouffee with that and see how it comes out." I said, that's a pretty bold move to actually enter that in the competition. And I had never heard of an elk etouffee. Well, it was really good, you know. So it was a lot of creativity that goes on with the cooking and the competition and all that.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
It is, and there's prizes that they give out for the teams. Not only the best etouffee in rank, but also they give prizes for the spirit. You know, it's like a spirit competition. The best dressed, the most spirited, the best dressed booth. So it's all kinds of things people can come up with.
So you can win many different ways.
In many different ways. It's fun. I just love watching, and I'm basically there to eat and be the photo op to give out the prizes.
What a great job! Now this actually started as a church parish initiative.
Yeah,
right?
and it still is the church parish initiative
Okay.
that we put it on.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is, and it's all volunteer.
See, people will do amazing things. You've been doing this how long?
29 years. This is the 29th year.
Wow, wow.
So we're actually 1 year older than Festival International.
And I just want to get this in because I don't want to run out of time, and we won't, but people that are coming to Lafayette for Festival International can actually scoot on over to Arnaville and spend a little bit of time at the Hfa Festival and have another totally different French kind of experience.
Oh yes, and
right?
many people do. We encounter in Arnaville, we encounter people from France and Belgium. We've had people from West Africa come through.
Really?
Yeah, they hear about it and they come through, and when they get here, you know, they find out, you know, hey, you know, they speak French, and we enjoy each other's company. And then we have our people who also hop back and forth between the two festivals.
Yeah.
You know, I do.
I'm thinking this year I might try to get over to the Etouffee Festival too, because it's an easy drive. It's a nice little ride over to
It's really fun. We also have other things with the festival. As part of the festival, we have I mentioned the Mayor's Cook-Off,
right?
The carnival rides.
Music.
Yeah, we got lots of music.
You got to have music.
Got to have music.
So who do you have? Because I thought we had everybody in downtown Lafayette. Who's left to go play at yours?
Well, we have a lineup Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have the dance hall band. We have Don Rich and the Don Rich band coming. Clay Cormier and the Highway Boys. That's a young band. They're from Arnaville, and you know, we're kind of giving them a little shot to get some exposure to the people.
Let's go, guys, yeah.
We also have Gino de la Fosse and French Rock and Boogie. We love having him. Corey the Date and his Zydeco band. We got Chubby Carrier. This is all on Saturday. Chubby Carrier and the Bayou Swamp Band. Chubby's also another big hit that
great
people
draw.
just
Chubby
love.
Loved Chubby. He was on our show not long ago.
Like Gino and Chubby are like, when they just, people say, ooh,
yeah.
You know, I see people that they'll follow Gino like everywhere.
Yeah.
So they come to Arnaville because Gino's going to be there. We also have the Joel Martin Project, which plays on Saturday night. He's a young fella too, you know, but he's getting out there.
So we have some young musicians that are really carrying the tradition on too, don't we?
Yes, but also, first time ever, we got Warren Storm coming on Sunday. The Cypress Band with Willie T and Warren Storm.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a big score for us.
Woo! How did you do that?
I have no idea, actually.
Don't you love what volunteers can do?
Oh yeah,
it's
I don't even know how it happened, and I thought about it years ago. A couple of years back, when I had done the for the Dewey Balfa Festival up in Chico State Park, I had talked to a friend of mine from my old parish, Todd Ortego, and we were watching Warren Storm, and we realizing that, you know, we don't know how long he's going to be with us, you know?
Yeah.
You know, he's a legend, swamp pop legend.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, maybe you ought to try to get him to come to your festival. I said, you know, that would be a major thing if we can do that. Well, it finally happened. We're finally going to get Warren Storm.
That's exciting.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm like, wow, this is a legend.
Yeah.
You know, this is a legend. I told somebody at the Myrons where we eat at, said, did Warren Storm come? Said, no, Warren Storm ain't coming out festival. Oh yeah, he is.
He's going to be Sunday. What time Sunday he's going to be?
He's going to be playing. They're going to start at 12:30. So they're
Okay.
from 12:30 to 2:30 Sunday afternoon.
That'd be a good time to go.
Oh yeah, and then we close out on Sunday with Crossfire, which is a kind of a party band. And that's kind of a first for us because we usually stick to the Cajun and Creole Zydeco music and swamp pop type music. And this will be kind of just a little something different.
Good. So you're going to end on a new note this year.
On a new note, but still holding to our traditions and our families and food and our fun and all. And it's going to be a great time. You know.
And this is a big fundraiser for your church parish.
Yes,
And
it is.
so what do you do with all this money that I know you're going to make?
Well, we run stuff.
It's pretty
And
much what
fix
church
stuff.
parishes do. Keep stuff going. Huh?
Oh yeah, but it's but the
Because you're an
more
old
than that-
parish. You're an old
An
parish.
yeah. And you know, we the biggest thing for us is not necessarily the money; it's the people. When everyone comes out and has a good time and just really feel good about where we come from, and you know, just it makes me very full when I look at people. Like sometimes I'm on stage with the band because I've been known to get up on stage and play the frottoir with the band too.
Okay, it's out now.
Yeah, I do that too.
Our priest really has he has an inner Zydeco in him, huh?
Oh yeah,
So-
I can play a pretty good rub board.
Can you really?
I really
All
can. I'm
right.
not kidding. I really
Okay,
can.
I'm impressed.
You can ask Gino De La Fosse, he'll tell you.
I'm impressed.
And I can play pretty good. And I played with Chubby before too, and had fun with it. And the first year I did it though, I remember when I got up there and I was wearing my cassock, which is the long black rubber wear. But I put on the frottoir, and the French people were taking pictures and they were saying, "Oh, on voit ça jamais en France, là. On voit ça jamais en France." I said, "Ici, on n'est pas la France. C'est la Louisiane." This is Louisiana, baby.
This is what we do.
We had so much fun, and they were just, "The priest is playing the music too." I said, "Yeah, I do more than just say mass."
You have a life outside of that.
Oh
huh?
yeah, it's all integral. You know, it's part
It's
of
all
just
part of
being
it.
and living with my people, loving my people. You know, I take care. I mean, we have a lot of elderly people in Orneville. It's a top-heavy community.
Is it? The
Yeah.
youngsters aren't staying as much. then,
Yeah, once they graduate from LSU or UL, a lot of them stay in Lafayette and come home for Christmas and Easter,
Right.
or they, wherever they can get a
Yeah,
job.
right,
and,
right.
And so it is a top-heavy community, but we do we can to take care of our people. You know, I'm at the nursing home all the time with my people and just take care of their spiritual needs, their pastoral needs, and whatnot. I offer mass there, and sometimes the priest from Leonville comes and offers mass there too, because he's got some of his parishioners are in our nursing home. So they have a vibrant life, even though they can't come to church. We bring it to them.
Right.
You know.
We go where they are.
Oh yeah. And,
So pastoring to the folks in Orneville, I guess it's a little different than your experience in Eunice, but it sounds like it's a
yeah.
rich life.
it is a rich life. It's rewarding. When I first was ordained and I went back to my seminary.
Where did you go to seminary?
For theology, I went to Catholic U, to Theological College at Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. And I went back just for a visit, and one of the guys asked me, "So what's it like? What's it like, being a priest?" Because he was about to get ordained. I said, "Well, I'm going to tell you what it's like. It's more joy than I ever thought I could have,
Wow.
and more suffering than I ever thought I could bear.
Wow.
And I wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing." That's how I can sum it up. And I still would say that today. That's what it's like. It's more joy than I ever thought I could have as a person. And just looking at how everything developed and just making the decision to become a priest in the first place.
Why did you become a priest?
Well, I felt the call early on. I was, 8 years old. That's all I wanted to be was a priest. And a fireman. And
The dual role.
the dual role. And of course that kind of went underground with high school and girls and dating and all that, and college and all the
Girls
fun I was
and-
having and doing music and all. I was in band and drumline and drum
So music has been a
ensemble.
big part of your life too.
Very big part of my life. and it still is. Although I'm not necessarily playing music all the time, I do what I can when I can. So if I can sneak in on the band and play a little bit and they let me, I'll do it. So I enjoy it. And I try to keep up with things. Like I'm a big fan, of course, I'm a big fan of UL's band. So, I mean, I was in UL's band, so I love watching them. And I have to honestly say, I think I watched the band this year at UL, and I was like, man, we were good, man, but they're actually better than us. But for me to have to be able to say that and say, man, they're actually better than we were, but we were good.
But you can't always take your own inventory, you know. You might have been as good as they were. You just see it differently.
Oh yeah. Well, but I don't know. I think
they're really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
They've
upped it.
So back to the decision to enter the priesthood, because it wasn't an easy one. I'm taking it.
No, it wasn't an easy one. As I used to joke around and say, I was having too much fun at the party. And,
yeah.
But when I got I got more serious in my when I was in grad school at UL. I got
You're majoring in what?
I started out as an engineering student, but I ended up jumping into Francophone studies, Études francophones, and I graduated in French, and I went back for a master's in Francophone studies. It was in grad school that I really started to get serious in my prayer life, in my spiritual life, and that's when the call resurfaced, and it was one of those things where my life had turned in such a way that it seemed like the more I tried to run from the call, the more I seemed to be running to it. And I turned around and everything in my life was ministry. It just happened so naturally that it was, I remember Father Hampton Davis told me this. He says, Keenan, have you taken a real good look at your life lately? And I'm like, what do you mean? Just think about everything that you're involved in. It's all ministry. Everything. Music ministry, dorm ministry, retreat team, LCCS, everything you were doing. It's all ministry. And you're sitting here struggling with whether or not you should go to the priesthood. And so I said, duh, he's got a real strong point there. So maybe I should stop fighting this thing. So I stopped fighting. And I went to tell my mom and my dad about it. And, I kind of knew that my mom would be very supportive. I wasn't sure about my dad because my dad was Baptist. And, but he was very supportive, very proud, actually. And, but my mom told me something that was quite profound when I told her that I really felt God called me to be a priest, and that I was leaving to go to seminary. And she just looked at me, she goes, well, you know, son, you don't belong to me. And I was like, what?
Wow.
I thought in the back of my mind, I said, is she going to tell me I'm adopted or something? and she says, you don't belong to me. You belong to him. I said, yeah. I said, good Lord bless me with 14 of y'all. I gave you back to him when I had you baptized. And I said, I'd raise you up in the faith as best I could, but you belong to him. So if he's calling you to be his priest, then you go. And I was like, oh. But that was like my marching orders, like, okay, Mama said,
Mama said go.
I was like, okay. And it was like, wow. And when I got to seminary, it was like I could have kicked myself for not going sooner.
So you knew then you had made the right decision.
I knew it.
You didn't know until you got there, though? You weren't really sure until you got there?
Well, I was reasonably sure, but there's something about making that decision and actually stepping into it. But I realized that everybody's different, though. Every man is different. His story is different. How he comes about it is different. But this is how my story ran. And all the time, with every year of study, just going closer and closer and closer. And yes, there were some difficulties. I mean, there always is. Anything worth doing is worth fighting for. So, and then going to school in Washington, D.C., where it was a cultural shock for me because it was not South Louisiana.
And not French.
It's not French, and they don't have plate lunches.
Who'd have thunk?
You know, you'd be surprised how something simple as going to the Exxon station and walking in there and thinking you're going to get a link of boudin or something, and it ain't happening up there.
No, it's not.
This is not happening. There's no plate lunch. I asked them if they had plate lunches. They don't even know what a plate lunch is.
I hate to end on a plate lunch now,
Yeah.
but I just got the signal that we're out of time.
Okay. Well, I enjoy it.
But
I enjoy it.
it's great. Thank you so much. But I do really quickly, the dates for the Etouffee Festival again are?
April 25th, Friday, and through Sunday, April 27th. And we open at 5 on Friday till midnight, on Saturday from 11 until midnight, and on Sunday from 11 till 5.
And if you go, you might see Father Brown on the stage playing the washboard.
You might even catch me dancing if you're lucky.
Thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching The Extra Mile.